Welcome to ROI's Couch Conversations. I'm your host, Jessica Spencer. Today's show is all about receivables management, and we're excited to welcome back Jeff Tennant, our Executive Director of Revenue Cycle Services. Jeff, can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that healthcare organizations face today related to receivables management?
So as we look at the benefits of managing, for lack of a better term, receivables management, right? So what exactly is your cost to collect the money that's owed to your organization? I saw an article not too long ago that indicated that many of the insurance bills that go past a certain date kind of go off into a black hole somewhere, right? There's not enough effort spent on trying to collect the money that's owed to an organization. It does require a certain amount of rigor. It requires proper tools. And again, this is an area where education and training could be very, very important. But an organization has to look at what is the cost to collect each dollar and what is the dollar figure that makes that no longer cost effective. And when you get to that point, there are solutions out there. There are opportunities out there to give those smaller balance accounts to someone who focuses on that specifically. They may leverage an offshore component to their offering. They may have certain automated processes in place. I think receivables management and billing and follow-up is one of the areas where we're seeing the biggest impact of artificial intelligence and the robotic processing, if you will, of certain things. There are a lot of organizations out there doing some great things with process automation in the billing and receivables follow-up area. So this is an important area. And the financial benefits, of collecting every dollar, even collecting a percentage, if you have to outsource some of these things, a percentage of every dollar, is better than just letting it go. Another area of receivables management that I think is extremely important, and one that drives me crazy, is making sure that your staff understands the importance of following up on things that are approaching timely filing limits, or focusing on the cause of a medical necessity denial or something to that effect. Taking advantage of the information or the data that's being created by your receivables management system is paramount in being able to go back into your EMR, back into your processes and procedures to make sure that you can address those as early in the process as possible. The odds of collecting the money that's owed to the organization is obviously much better, much easier the sooner and earlier in the process you identify the issues and concerns and can then rebill, add documentation, whatever's required to get those things billed. As a revenue cycle professional, timely filing denials drive me crazy because that just indicates that someone didn't do their job, right? It indicates somebody just let this slide by. It hit a date and had to be written off for that reason. Also, medical necessity denials, things that weren't caught by your front end processing. Again, this kind of talks to the whole continuum of care and how each part of revenue cycle feeds not only the clinical processes, but then allows you to do a better job of billing. If you're not catching those medical necessity issues during registration and scheduling, and now you're trying to deal with them on the back end, your odds of collecting that money are obviously significantly impacted. So these are all areas, as you can address denials, if you can address the reason for those denials, those are areas that are obviously going to add directly to your bottom line. Turning a denial into a payment, is huge. So if you can eliminate those denials, your impact on your bottom line is really significant. The other area is, having people that are effective and very good at what they do in this space is very important. Having people who maybe focus on Blue Cross, maybe people who focus on Medicare billing that can, go after that with a vengeance and understand the nuances and what that payer is going to want from an additional documentation or, whatever they're going to need to expeditiously pay that bill. That's extremely important. The other part of receivables management, which is probably the more difficult part, is that patient collection portion, right? So as we look at today's healthcare environment, people with higher deductibles, people who maybe didn't have insurance before but now have some form of insurance and have a very high deductible, collecting that patient portion is more and more difficult, right? And as more and more of the healthcare cost is shifting to the patient's responsibility, that's an area that organizations really need to focus on, making sure they're doing everything in their power to, again, make sure they have all of the information up front in order to be able to reach out to that patient once they've discharged from the hospital and request payment, as well as working with them on alternate financing opportunities. A lot of different options are out there. There are a lot of solutions available, and we're happy to discuss those with you and find one that's best for your organization.
Jeff, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We really appreciate the experiences you've been sharing. Stay tuned for the next episode where we will discuss revenue enhancement.